Hello, this is Douglas Rumbaugh, and as promised, here is my video on installing a graphical environment to your Arch Linux system. So this is this Arch Linux system as we left it following my installation video. I'm going to log in. I'm going to log in and we can begin. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is install the X Windows system. This is the basis upon which pretty much every graphical environment is built, and it can serve as a graphical environment unto itself. And that's what we're going to start with. So the packages we need to install are xorg-server, xorg-server-utilities, and the xinit. xorg xinit. We're also going to install xterm, xorg-xclock, and I believe it's xtwm. I may have gotten that last one wrong. Yeah. We'll skip that one for now. Okay, it's quite a few packages to install, but they should download fairly quickly. And thanks to the power of video editing, we are here at the tail end of the install process, and the installation is complete. One more package to install, the one that I could figure out, it's xorg-twm. That's the Xorg tiling window manager that we'll be using. Okay, so we have all of the packages required for the X window system. There's one more thing that we're going to have to deal with though, and that is graphics card. Because this is running in a virtual machine, it doesn't matter. But if you're running it on your actual computer, you're going to need to install a driver for your graphics card. The driver you need to install is going to differ depending on what your graphics card is and who makes it. I'll provide a link in the description to the Arch Linux wiki page about graphics drivers. For now, what I'm going to do is install Mesa, which is a basic driver that provides 3D support. And I'm also going to install the Vasa driver, which purports to work for pretty much every GPU, but it's very minimal. It doesn't provide any acceleration 2D or 3D. It's also good to install because it's the fallback. So if you do have your NVIDIA graphics card and an NVIDIA driver to match, and for whatever reason it were to not work anymore, the driver, it can fall back to Vasa and you'll still be able to use your system, albeit without all the pretty 3D accelerated KDE window ornaments or whatnot. A system half working is better than not working as far as I'm concerned. So that would be XF86 video Vasa -video -Vasa. And that's going to install. And once again, we are post installation, so the graphics driver is now installed. Excellent. If I'm not mistaken, one last thing before we get into starting up the environment. If you have a computer with a touchscreen or a laptop with a touchpad and you want to use that touchscreen or mouse touchpad, what you're going to need to do is install an additional driver. You need not the Pac-Man driver. Yeah, you need to use Pac-Man to install the XF86 input synaptics driver, just like that. And that's going to enable your touchpad. I remember when I first installed Arch Linux, I skipped that step for some reason and was surprised when I couldn't actually use the mouse on my laptop. It was easy enough to fix, but best to avoid that in the first place and just install the package while you can. Okay, with that done, we should now have everything in place to open up our X Windows environment. So we're going to use start X. This is the command to start up the graphical environment. And unfortunately, the window expands to much larger than I have the capture region set, but from what you can see there, you should get the gist of it. There's a couple of virtual terminals up. Here, let me just scroll this through to the corner. You can see the clock there. To close out of it, all you have to do is type exit into the terminals, and it will close X Windows. Now, you couldn't see much of it, but that was pretty rudimentary, and probably not what you want to be looking at for the rest of your computer career. Fortunately, that's only the basis upon which all the other stuff is built. So you can install from here any desktop environment, any window manager you want. Bare OpenBox, you can do it. LXDE, you can do it. GNOME or KDE, why not? I'm going to use something called i3. This is the environment that I use on my computer, my laptop computer. It is quite useful. It's probably the best environment I've ever used, to be honest. It's a tiling window manager. I'll explain more what that is on a video on window managers. I keep plugging videos I haven't made yet. Jeez, I'm gonna dig myself a really deep hole here with all the stuff I have to do. And we'll install that. I'm probably not going to cut this one, it's only 3 megs, although my internet has suddenly slowed down to a snail's pace. Still, you know, the window manager and all its dependencies fit inside of 3 megabytes. Well, compressed 3 megabytes. Expands to 14 megabytes. Come on. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to cut it. I'll see you in a moment. Okay. Oops. There we go. So we are now installed. We can use StartX to start up i3. It's not going to be auto-generated in my root account, I don't think. No, but you can make it. You want to edit your .xinit.rc file, just like that. And in it, put exec, and then whatever your window manager is. The line you have to put into this is going to vary depending on what desktop environment and window manager you're using. So you'll want to look that one up. It's usually something along the lines of, exec i3. I think it's lx start or something for LXDE. It's been a while since I've used LXDE. So write those changes. And now if we run startx, it's going to fire up i3. So you can see the i3 first configuration popped up there. And we can, there's not much to see, it's just a black screen. So we're now running in the i3 desktop environment, which doesn't look like much. It really is just a black screen right now. You have to do some configuration to make it pretty, but yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that, yes, and we'll just reboot the machine. There's no easy, well, there is an easy way. I just forget what it is to close out. Actually, i3 has a keyboard shortcut, and I still haven't pulled the disk out. So, in any event, there's one last thing that I want to show you in this video that goes kind of hand in hand with getting your desktop environment running. Oops. And that is sound. I believe it's just called ULSA. No, hold on. Just give me one moment here. yeah, we need also utilities. I'll install that. ALSA is one of several sound packages you can have. There's also OSS. I've only ever used ALSA. And of course there are sound services that sit on top of ALSA, like Pulse Audio or Jack. But for anything I've had to do, ALSA is usually sufficient. So once you install ALSA, you should be good to go. Except it starts out muted. So you have to go ALSA mixer, I believe it's one word, yeah, and go here and M to unmute, and then you use the arrow keys up and down. So just unmute everything, max the volume levels out, or adjust them to your liking. And as you can see, there's quite a lot you can do in here. That's how you get sound. Figured I'd throw that in here. Okay. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video of mine. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, leave it down in the comment section. I'll do my best to get to it in a timely manner. As always, have a nice day. I will see you next time.